Let's see. You gotta do it like this. Don't know if Danny has made it to the bed yet or not. So here he is, not knowing whether or not his microphone works. But we are live here at the show at the Livewell. I just called it the show. We're here at the Livewell.
That's right.
And we're live.
21 episodes.
That's 21 episodes ago. It was the show. And we have all 8 of you watching at the moment, which I know it will grow exponentially here in the next little bit. Does your microphone work yet?
I don't know. If you're out there and you're watching, can you hear me?
Yeah, so while we do the intro, you guys let us know if you can hear Danny or not. So this episode, is it brought to you by anybody?
Me.
It's brought to you by Fish North Georgia. That's and right. Danny Pruitt and Joshua McCaig. This is what this episode is sponsored by.
That's right.
And I don't know if it's sponsored by anybody else.
Not yet, but we got some sponsors that are getting ready to come on board.
We got some sponsors that are getting ready to come on board.
That's
so
right, so
nobody has commented.
Right,
there we go.
We just want to make sure we do not get a repeat of last week.
There we go. Everybody, hopefully all coming in loud and clear.
That 30-second ad, that's right. It's probably for that soap that you wash your balls with.
Introducing the Banjo Minner.
That's right. What's up, guys? Anyway, he can hear you. All right, good.
All right, good.
Let's
go fish.
That's right, Banjo Minner. Right,
no, that's not Banjo Minner.
What the hell is it?
That's the what's that thing called? That's the instant fisherman.
Oh, that's right. That's a little pole that comes out, right?
Yeah.
You got one of those?
You can put it in your golf bag.
That's right. You can put it in your golf bag. A little blurry. Hey guys, sorry about that, but that is TDS. But we got good news. They were actually running a fiber optic line in front of the store the other day. So we are close. We're getting close to being fiber ready. We will have some high depth, great programming for you guys. So we're close. It is coming.
We'll have definition like the rock.
Definition.
I don't know if that's a good thing for this.
You're going to see how ugly Ryan is, how old I am, and Beasley's peach fuzz.
Happy birthday to Danny. It was yesterday.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Feliz cumpleaños. Aquí.
What the hell y'all saying?
I don't know. I just wished you happy birthday in Spanish.
Do it in Japanese. Hi. Okay. Anyway, guys. Hey, welcome to the Livewell here at Fish North Georgia. Tonight we got a topic that should spawn some pretty. Like I did that. Should spawn.
Like that. Was good.
Should spawn. There you go. It's a pun, right? Ain't that what that's called?
Moose knuckle smiling.
Moose knuckle is smiling. So we're gonna talk about bed fishing. Okay. That stirs up a lot of
controversy.
Either way, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about, if you're going to do it, kind of some of the ways that we do it and all that. But again, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, click that notification bell so that you will, of course, be notified of any future content that we put out. And if you're on Facebook, go to www.streamyard www.streamyard/Facebook.com.
Yes.
And put your name in there so we don't have to call you Facebook user.
But he hears us. That's a start.
Facebook user tonight, he does hear us, but we'd love to know who you are. But if you want, to be incognito, that's totally cool as well. Again, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter. I really got to do a lot better job on Twitter, but that is
you suck at Twitter.
I do.
Which we do suck. If it wasn't for Paul, we wouldn't get anything posted.
Would get nothing done.
We would never get any social media posted.
So anyway. But yeah, Twitter, it's Fish North GA. So you can watch us there or watch us or look or whatever. TrueGritTackle.com, True Grit Tackle at Facebook, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's something about what am I missing?
Well, we got special guests tonight.
Do we?
For a little while. Yeah, we got part of Creekview High School's bass fishing team here. As always, Mr. Eric Beasley. Off camera, we also have Scooter Legan and Tyler. What's his last name? Huh? He's very shy. Tyler Boggs. The fishing team from Lumpkin County High School of Scooter Legan and Tyler Boggs with their boat captain, Mr. Jim Legan. Those of you from Lumpkin County, he is of Lumpkin County fame. You see, he's back there rolling his eyes right now. So, but yeah, we got some people watching it. And as always, we always want to say this. We always extend the invitation to if anybody ever wants to come sit in and watch or listen. You don't have to be on the show, but you're more than welcome. We have chairs.
That's right.
And you can come listen and come watch. So Tracy Coker already said go LCHS. That's right.
Are you boys shy? Which one of you's nuts ain't dropped? That was
you. This poor guy.
No, listen, I mean, Beezles are everywhere, and this one ain't got them down yet. So I mean, we got all. I'm sorry, that was pre-show
We already
jokes.
started.
Yeah, pre-show jokes and all that like that. You never know, we might pull you over here in a second. So anyway, that's right. So what's up, everybody? Decked out. And guys, so we're gonna have some fun. So anyway, first of all, I want to make sure I do a couple of announcements. Again, you see right beside me the Mega Live. Okay, we're raising money, and I really didn't do a good job of pushing it this week, but as it gets closer, we're going to push it. Raising money for the Virtue Recovery House in Cartersville, Georgia. All right, it's an addiction facility. They help people with drug and alcohol addictions, and we all know that is a very big problem in our society today. It's an in-bed and an outpatient facility. And so what we're going to do on Easter Sunday at 8 p.m., we're going to raffle this bad boy away. Okay, so you can get tickets two ways. You can come up here to the store, or you can contact me on Facebook via Messenger or something like that, and I'll tell you how we can do it if you live far away and want a shot at this thing. Tickets are $20 for one, $50 will get you 6, and $100 will get you 7.
6.
Wait, what?
50 for 3.
Oh,
Dan-
geez, 50 for
Danny
6.
turned 50, and he needs to go to the eye doctor.
Yeah,
He needs to go to the eye doctor now
My
since he
bad.
turned 50.
All right,
He
so
can't
let-
read
yeah.
a 3.
Let me redo it. That's right. So $20 for one, $50 for 3, $100 for 7.
That's right.
Is that good? Is that my math?
And,
I'm surrounded by Lumpkin County.
And I'll tell you this.
There we go. It's right there.
And I'll tell you this. I didn't know. I hadn't run this by you.
I got you.
But our very own True Grit Tackle Pro staff, Dane Hunter,
Yep.
come up with a pretty cool idea that I had not run it by you yet.
All right.
Do you want me to shout
What's
it
up,
out?
Jeff
Do
Nell?
you want me to shout out the idea or not?
So you're just gonna blindside me with it right now?
You ready for me to?
I'll go ahead.
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you come into the store and buy a brand new FX rod and buy a Shimano Corrado 150 MGL, you might be entered in for more.
How much more?
I don't know. That's up to you.
So wait a second. So you bring me an idea that's half baked.
Yes.
You didn't give me the full idea. So it's like,
What else do you expect from me?
yeah, shoot. Well, give me.
I
What
like
if they come in and
half-baked
buy a reel
idea.
and a rod? Where we going? How many entries they gonna
I
get?
don't know. How many you think?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure that out. We'll post it. How about that?
We'll figure something out.
But anyway, 100%, 100% of the money raised is going to go to the Virtue Recovery House, and it's the goals are is to raise $5,000. And I'm working on some donations behind the scenes, but I really want to help these people out. It's a newer facility, and again, it's a problem we got in our society, and we want to try to extend as much help as we can. Outdoorsmen are the best at doing that. And
What are you drinking?
he's got a monster.
You got a monster.
Yeah, you didn't get a beer. You're
Yeah,
not
we
old.
were on camera.
Got it. The
I ain't
FX, I
never
didn't know the
had
rest.
one of
We'll
those.
figure it out.
We'll
I just had that thrown on me like that.
I mean, that may or may not be set in stone.
Yeah,
It's just an
what's-
idea.
What's going on, Doug? So anyway,
I'm probably gonna get fired after.
you're
this
not going to
episode.
get fired. You're not going to get fired. But so anyway, that's listen. This it's $1,500 retail value. It's very hard to get, so it's worth a shot. But anyway, at least know that every dime of your money is going to go to these people and the work that they do. And you know how we guys are here. It's about helping the community, not only with fishing information and stuff like that, but where we can help out, we help out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
And again, drawing's going to be Easter Sunday, 8 p.m. That's the best day in the world to give away something right there. So we're going to do that.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. There we
He's
go. Here we
risen.
go. That's right. All right. So anyway, so now, am I missing any other information I need to give out? Dahlonega John boats we're fishing Thompson Creek in Lanier this Saturday. I know you got
These
spot sticker
Spot
tournament.
sticker tournaments out of Laurel Park on Saturday. A bunch of these high school boys and girls are going to be down on Oconee Saturday. Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
Okay. I will say this.
You ready?
Say something, Beazle.
You ready?
Sure. Yeah. I'm just gonna go out there and fish. I don't know. Practice was. I mean, it could be good or it could be bad. I mean, it's just gonna be one.
Do
of
you
those
skip
days.
school to practice?
I wish.
Yeah, right.
You lie about work program.
Yeah.
Practice.
What here he's already got his cliches ready already about for when he hits pro. Well, it could be good, it could be bad,
Oh,
It
my
depends,
Well, you
We-
heard
we
it.
take- we
Put
take
them
it-
lures in the tank. It looks good.
It looks good.
Looks
It
good.
looked
We
Just
hey, we take it, we take it one day at a time. As the good Lord blesses us, we'll do our best and just hope for a good outcome right there. I'd like to thank my sponsors. I'd like to thank my sponsors, Dugout
I
Bait
wish
and Tackle,
Phoenix.
Hook, You don't wear underwear, so we can't do that.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. What kind of shoes do you
What
have
kind
on?
of shoes do you have on?
I got Adidas shoes on.
Adidas.
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 some
All day,
Adidas.
all day I dream about Striper.
That's it. So anyway, I need info on Lake Hartwell this time of year. Well, let's jump on it. There's some. It's.
What the heck?
What?
Don't you pop
Look at Ty Patterson. Why does this Joker always wear a dugout hat?
Hey, listen. That just shows you that we're inclusive.
Yep.
Okay, we're all rising tide, all boats, that
It's
kind of
all
garbage.
ships.
That's right. Now we have a good relationship with the guys down in the dugout. So I let this one slide. Although
Slide.
I mean, it does a good job of hiding ugly. So
Yep.
we do that. So anyway, back to Paul. Throw the raffle ticket prices back up. So he can do a post about it. Dane wants to do that since he's producing the show from wherever he's at tonight. And I'm just kidding with you. But anyway, real quick, anything on Hartwell that somebody? What kind of juice can you throw out on Hartwell right now before we get talking about bed fishing?
Bad fishing.
That's on Hartwell right now
It'll be going on here anytime now if it ain't already happening.
with the largemouth or the spots. Spots ought to be on bed up there.
Both.
Okay,
Both.
so
Both.
basically what you're saying is fish shallow.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
a little bit staged.
I mean, you
stuff
could.
like
I mean,
that.
you could or could not choose to throw a super flute on Hartwell right now too.
You got a particular color.
Name one color.
White.
White.
You don't do the bone, so it's just white with you.
White. Pearl white.
What?
Pearl white, baby.
You don't throw a bone?
No.
Oh,
Don't waste my time.
don't
Supposed,
waste your time.
supposed to have on True Grit shoes.
True Grit shoes. We don't have any True Grit shoes. Oh, we got some Los Sandalis.
Water walkers. Anyway, come on here.
Moses shoes.
So anyway, all right. Let's kind of get on.
But no,
to-
Hartwell's a fluke lake.
Hartwell is a fluke lake.
It's Blueback Herring Lake.
Okay. Okay. That's all you're
This
gonna
guy
throw
with
out
his
there.
Pearl white fluke.
I mean, Josh is asking for it, so we want to kind of help him out.
You had me at shallow. See, listen.
You had me at Shell. Well, there you go, like that.
Those-
Again, hey, if you go fish Hartwell or any other lake this weekend,
You want to make Tatum's day? Tell him you can catch him on a spinnerbait.
Spinner.
You could throw a spinnerbait.
that's good. That's some real informative stuff right there.
I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and swear up and down to God right now. You can go to Hartwell and get bid on a spinnerbait, but
You could.
Throw it if you want to.
you could throw one if you wanted to.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
He could throw a cast if he wanted to.
He
I mean, you
could.
can throw whatever you want to
he
right there.
could.
Will he have success?
He could.
He could.
He could.
Okay. What should he target? Let's try to give him some juice.
Anything less than 2 feet of water.
Like throw it right up on the bank and get it.
I mean, well, that
If
and
you found that muddy water, probably, wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah.
I want
To a certain
swim in that clear
extent.
water right now. The Hartwell's so clear.
I don't have much experience on the south end of Hartwell. Most all the stuff's been up Tugaloo and up the Seneca River. So,
I got
Yeah.
you.
When you're saying shallow, I'm like,
well, I mean, there's
shallow's
some.
relative,
I mean, there's
because
some
that clear
places.
water, they're
There's some
down there.
places up the Tugaloo River where like the boat's in 4
And you're casting them.
and you're casting in less than 2.
Okay.
So I mean, that's kind of stuff that I would look
Jacob
for.
wants to know if we've ever fished Lake Burton.
I hate
Yep.
it. Never fished there before in my life.
Yeah, right. You're lying like a dog. I don't know if that's a reference to when do we start talking about fishing from the bed? I think I misunderstood tonight's topic. No, we'll get there. We'll get there. We're just getting warmed up.
Burton's a gym,
Burton is a gym. Absolutely. So
even though
yeah,
they took a bunch of blowdowns out of it.
they did pull that out. But
Mhm.
I wonder if that's a reference to the clear water though on Burton. It's a pretty clear lake.
It is a clear lake. You can see about 12 feet down sometimes of the year.
Yeah, so you can do that.
You can pull up on a shallow hump and be like, man, what's swimming around down there?
I got you.
So-
I got you. Absolutely. So it's beautiful. What is it? Beautiful and clear, but can be challenging. Absolutely, it can
Definitely
be.
challenging.
Yeah, it is
I'm
challenging.
not great at burn.
Trout lures.
Right.
I've
About
done
any
some-
throw.
Oh, especially
Swim
down by the
baits.
down by
Down
the
by the
dam
dam.
where like all them jumping and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I've
right.
never caught a big one down there. I've seen them. I just can't
I've
catch
seen
a
there's
big
been some big fish caught out of Burton for sure. So, okay, so let's get to the topic. Oh, real quick, before I get to the topic. If you're
From-
doing any fishing this weekend, okay, make sure if you're the type that like to help and share a little bit of information, get us a little bit of a fishing report so that we can share it on Tuesday nights. Fish North Georgia reports, and kind of help out, our fellow anglers. Again, you don't have to give us the exact juice of what you're doing, but, water clarity, temp, what you saw, if the shaky head was working, let us know, stuff like that, so we can pass it on. Just stuff like that. Any species, any lake, it doesn't matter. Trout, river fishing, anything. The more we can tell everybody, the better off we will all be. It's just something to help out everybody, kind of similar to what we try to do here on this, but it's just more like what happened with you. So you guys definitely let us know that if you're willing to share that kind of stuff. So that's on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on our Facebook group page. Okay, so now there's your announcements. Are you ready to talk about this?
Sure.
Bed fishing. All right, spawn's about to be here if it ain't already started in a lot of places. Some places farther south, it's already been on. If you watched the Bassmasters this past weekend, a lot of guys were sight fishing, flipping beds, stuff like that. And it's one of those subjects that we find you get a lot of opinions on. All right, you've got those that say, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Those that say it's not ethical. And you have a ton of reasons as to why people feel the way they feel. Okay, and so one of the things, not fishing bass bed, fishing from my bed. Well, that would be interesting to try. I wish I could do that as well. What we're going to do, we're going to start off tonight. The first part we'll be talking about kind of our opinions on it. I pulled up a couple of reports. A lot of people say it hurts, the population, stuff like that. A lot of people will fuss that, only tournament guys should do it. It's just all kinds of different opinions and stuff like that. So we thought we would at least kind of tackle the subject a little bit.
Only tournament guys should do. That's a hell of a damn statement.
I've heard it. I've heard guys say, hey, if you're fishing for money, it's good. If you're not fishing for money, leave it alone. That opens up a whole can of worms. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's things that we hear on any given day up here at the shop and watching stuff. But the big thing is a lot of people that they're very opinionated on it. So we're going to kind of talk about that, and then we'll transition over into if you're going to fish a bed, how we would approach it, and mistakes we've learned and things that we have found that works and stuff like that. So with that being said, I'm going to start off. Let's start off with the youth right here beside us.
Okay.
Beasley, what is your opinion on fishing for bass while on the bed?
I mean, like, if it's ethical or not?
What's your opinion on it?
Do it. I mean, it's a way to catch fish and catches a lot of big ones. They go back to the beds. I mean, same. I mean, you catch them and you bring them to the whatever ramp you're at. I mean, it's the same as relocating them at any other time of the year.
Right.
I mean, they're fine. They'll probably find a place to stage in bed where they are. I doubt they wouldn't spawn that year. I don't think it hurts them that bad. I mean, it's just normal tournament fishing.
Okay. All right. What about you? Pro or against it?
I mean, I do it.
You sound like Beasley. Give me some.
Well, I mean, for me, it's tricky. I mean, I know how to do it. I'm pretty decent at it. It's just it's a touchy subject. Lanier, like if you talk about a lake where the largemouth population has been rebounding, like Lanier, for example,
right?
Like I haven't really done it too terribly much on Lanier. If I have, it's just been like, fun fishing day, catch it and then put it back, and it goes right back up there to the bed. But as far as taking it away all the way to the boat ramp and weighing it in, I mean, unless it's like a 6-7 pounder, like I'm like, I'm not really going to try to take it off.
Right.
So, I mean, because we're seeing the benefits on Lanier right now of having a healthy largemouth population to boot with a healthy spot population. We're seeing these mega mixed bags being weighed in 20 plus pounds right now.
Right.
And that wouldn't be really achievable if, the largemouth and the spot population wasn't as good, and it's getting better. So, and I'm like Jeremiah, I'll bed fish if it's an 8 pounder or something bigger like that. Otherwise, most of the time I just personally leave them alone. But that's just me personally.
Okay.
Now, am I going to be a bed fish Nazi on you? No, absolutely not. If you're playing one on the bed, I hope if you want to catch it. I hope you can catch it.
Right.
So
now I'm kind of, I don't care either way. I mean, so
Right.
like that, yeah, I'm kind of similar to that. I want to say a lot of times we hear, you're going to ruin the population. You're hurting next year's thing. You're doing this. I want to read you this this study. Now, this was in Mississippi, okay, which is going to be more largemouth, of course, than spots. One thing I did notice is there's kind of a line in the United States. It affects it more in the north with smallmouth than it does in the south with spots and largemouth. But from this one, it says fishery researchers have demonstrated that bed fishing can adversely affect the production fry of an individual nest. The longer a garden male bass is kept away from a nest, the more predators like brim and shiners are likely to consume the eggs of the fry, and the more eggs of fry are removed by the nest-robbing predators, the more likely it is that the buck bass will abandon the nest completely, leaving the remaining eggs vulnerable to more predation. Did I say that right? Predation, predators, predation, lack of oxygen, and fungus. Okay, so yes, on an individual bed. Okay, but here's what they found. But it only, yes, bed fishing can reduce the production of fry from an individual nest, but it only takes successful reproduction from several pairs of largemouth to populate a large pond or cove in a reservoir.
Right.
In Mississippi and other southern waters, far more bass are spawned every spring than the environment can support.
Right.
There is no evidence that bed fishing has ever hurt a largemouth bass population in southern waters.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we have guys going around saying, and this is one study, and I found several like this, why is it that the average guy will say, hey, you take too many fish off the bed, it's going to hurt, it's going to hurt the lake. It's going to hurt the lake. It's going to hurt the lake. You hear that all the time. Why do you think that is?
Ethical things is really, I know a bunch of guys that, they're like totally against bed fishing. They just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether or not they want to do it or can do it is two different stories. But, I know some guys, they just don't do it. They suck at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then two, they just don't care to catch bedfish.
Right. Here's another interesting stat. Okay.
Which is interesting on what you said that, though, because I'm interested because they said that, like, in Mississippi, well, you don't really, the largemouth are predominant in the state of Mississippi,
right,
compared to a lake like Lanier,
right,
where the population right now is like 80-20 spots to largemouth.
Right.
Where a long time ago, largemouth reigned supreme on Lanier. And, I mean, there's a point, when I first started fishing, where if you caught a largemouth, it was like, whoa, that's rare. And we've been seeing it over and over and over now over the past several years now, where it's gotten a whole lot better. The population and the odds and the probability of catching largemouth at a regular clip is getting better.
Right.
So
one of these studies kind of thinks that the ethical question is, back in the day, a lot of people kept a lot more fish, but the reality is now that 95% of all bass caught are released back into the water. So catch and release, catch and release, catch and release. So maybe the old adage of, hey, you're keeping everything out, you're taking everything out, maybe could have been true back in the day.
Keeping is different.
Now, right?
Keeping and killing is different.
Right.
Now, there needs to be a certain fine line to where people that harvest bass and crappie and catfish and stuff out of the lake does well, to where it helps the overall health and the overall population of the lake, to where the handful of people that go to the lake on the weekend and catch a limit of bass and take them home, 2-pounders and stuff like that, and take them home and eat them, that just kind of, that little bit kind of helps to a certain extent on the overall population. Because when you have more fish in a pocket than can eat bait,
Right.
some of those fish are going to starve as is.
Yeah.
The Bassmaster guys were just talking about that last week. I'm saying too.
Tournament.
Yeah, it was won by bad fishing.
Cool bed fishing. That was awesome.
It was some pretty neat things to watch. How about this? Listen, when you start actually getting into stuff and you're reading about stuff like that, you pick up some stuff that you didn't think about that. And I did not know this. Researchers, this is from Bassmaster. Researchers have found that female bass do not always lay all their eggs at one time in one nest.
Yep.
They may mate with several males over a several day or week period. It's nature's way of mixing up the gene pool to ensure the species survival, even if some nests are abandoned or otherwise compromised. So I didn't really realize that. So you get a big female on there. She may lay them all at one time, but she could possibly like to play the field a little bit, spread her oats a little bit. So that was something interesting.
If you really want to ruffle somebody's feathers is when you start talking about the fact that there are population on every single lake that have a successful spawn and the fry hatch. And then after a couple of days, the male gets hungry
and eats them.
And he inhales every one of them.
Like that
really ruffles some people's feathers.
Like that.
So
again, on Bassmaster, most of its range, the maintenance of a largemouth bass population does not depend on the number of spawning adults.
Drew's drinking.
Is Drew drinking already? Yeah.
You see what he said?
Yeah. Put it down, Drew. Put it down. He's out there.
He gotta be.
Okay, so Facebook user right there. Again, hey, if you go to www.streamyard.com /Facebook.com, something like that, put it up there, Paul. She will go out and find another bedded male when you turn her back and lay her eggs there if you take her off the bed like that if she's not done. In most of its range, the maintenance of a largemouth bass population does not depend on the number of spawning adults. Bass overproduce young, so if some nests are failures, either from natural causes or from angling, the fry survival in other nests compensates like that. So now I will say this. It also says too, and this is more for the tournament guys like that. It does say that if you do a catch and release, you take a big female off the bed, you weigh her and you put her gently, you don't rough her up back down in there. There's a pretty good odds that she will either go back to that bed or one in the general area. But if you take her to a weigh-in and you take her far away, there is a possibility that year's her eggs that year will not make. That I did read like that. If she's stressed or displaced like that, so it is possible. I know a lot of people think if you take them to another, they'll just spawn there, and that's not saying that it can't happen, but it does increase the odds of it not having a successful spawn right there. Buck bass, on the other hand, okay, so I mean, I can remember being young on the pond my daddy had and catching the same buck bass like 5 times in a single day because they're just stupid and doing like that. But
no, that's stupid. He's doing his job.
He's doing his job. He's going right back there. You throw something different. Oh, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
And but it's really hard to make a buck bass actually leave his bed if you're letting him go right then and there on that. But again, it's kind of like here's one thing that I think a lot of people will say, and there are a lot of ways to catch them. I talked to guys today. That is a trick with a lot of guys that are fishing for beds. They got the Dawn dish spray in the spray bottles. If there's pollen, and I don't know why it works, they'll go out there and they'll spray it, and the pollen separates so they can see the bed. Did you know that trick? Did you? You didn't know that trick?
No.
Yeah.
Something Beasley didn't know.
Wait, really?
Really?
My
Huh?
God,
Look at this.
Look at him not knowing. This is not knowing things face.
Dude, I'll never forget the first time I went to Walmart when I was younger, and I came home, and it was like April, and my mom was like, "Why'd you buy a water gun?" And I was like,
Yeah, some of them guys got them big.
Don't worry about it.
A lot of guys use those big blaster water guns. They got them on the boat, and they'll spray that stuff and just spread that pollen like that.
You know, like my mom thought I was like getting a water gun fight on the lake.
Is that what she thought? She had no idea what was going on.
She didn't know I stole the dawn that morning before I went to the lake.
Where's my dawn at?
Yeah.
You're on the lake shooting the thing, trying to catch fish with it.
Yeah.
I've heard stuff today, and we'll get to this talking about how to catch them and stuff like that shortly. But I think it goes back to the debate where it's kind of like one of these things where you'll see the tournament guys kind of fuss at the everyday anglers that are out there that'll put 5 in their live well and they'll hold them up and then let them go. You know, it's one of those things. It's a lot of emotions involved with that. You shouldn't do that. You should do this. And that's why I made the statement, because I've heard it out of guys' mouth that, hey, if you're fishing for money, they're fair game, and if not, just leave them be. But that kind of really sticks it to the everyday guy that's just out there trying to fish and have some fun. You ever experienced that or heard anybody say stuff like that? Yeah. So what's your opinions on that?
Many time. Well, I mean, the bottom line with it is the facts are facts and evidence is evidence. We can all, and this is America. We're all entitled to our own opinion,
right?
and we can all have our own opinion without trying to jump down somebody's throat. And tell, no, you're wrong. I mean, that's what part of the problem with this country is right now. Is we're not going to get political, but if you're gonna have fun, you're gonna have fun. One way that I know of personally to really get somebody really, really, really hooked on bass fishing, let them catch one off a bed, dude. I mean, they catch one off a bed, even if it's like a little 1.5-pound buck bass. I mean, there's nothing like seeing one eat the bait, like you tricked it into eating your bait,
right? Sight fishing.
Yeah, and stuff, and looking at it.
Speaking of sight, we got a couple comments saying that the sight is gone. Brian, fine here. So okay, maybe this time it's not us. So Brian, maybe it's you this time. But anytime I see that, I'm like, here we go. It's good old TDS again. So I don't know that, but I agree with that. It's something. It's exciting. It's
it will.
And especially if you see a big girl up there. I mean, it is. We've all done it.
Oh my God! Look how big that one is.
Look at that! It is. It is.
Oh, it's huge.
Now, real quick, huge. Let's see. Pull that comment up there. The Facebook comment that I can't tell you if Kyle sees Facebook user up there. I can tell you he's on it. There you go. I can tell you if Kyle sees some big bedfish at Oconee this weekend, he will bust one.
That's Raymond Woods right there.
There you go. All right. So, hey, listen. So actually clearer than normal. Hey, yeah, again, we apologize for if the video does go out. So, opinions are like farts. We all have them. Nobody wants to hear them, and they usually stink. Well, yeah. But the difference, and I think what Ryan's saying is you can have the opinion on either side of it. We just don't have to split the country over it, either one way or the other. But unfortunately,
Dane's just aggravating.
Yeah, that's all right. But I'll say this. We've learned a lot in the last couple of years, and the biggest thing we have learned is that anglers, and if I got some females watching, don't take this the wrong way, but they're like a bunch of just jaded women sometimes. They get in there and just get the fussing. And
Bon Jovi reference over here,
jaded Bon Jovi. There you go.
Right.
I mean, good Lord, if it from brush piles to whatever, my Lord, we've never seen. It's like middle school all over again. It is drama. It is drama. So anyway, but I think, and this is actually a report that says it actually does affect it a little bit. But again, most of what I was reading today, the smallmouth population's up north because they don't have as much of a spawn time, and it affects them. I couldn't find anything today that said just regular angling, pulling them off the beds on a regular size reservoir affects it. But my goodness, we hear people saying it. We got a lot of armchair biologists that say it every day that it affects it. So I'm going to ask you this question. How much of that is based on just that's the way they were raised? How much of it is, kind of like your little, when you give somebody a hint and you're kind of steering them the wrong way? You hear that a lot from tournament guys right there. Like, we shouldn't bed fish, but they might be the first one pulling one off a bed when $10,000 is on the line.
Well, and then too, one thing about bed fishing any species is a lot of things that a lot of people say is cheek and tongue.
Right.
I mean, because it's just the fact of the matter is don't get mad at me if there's any females watching. There's a lot of Karens and Kyles in the world,
right?
And they all want to say, you're doing something wrong, but at the same time, they may be doing something at another point in time during the year or any given year that So it's really just kind of it's a hard knock life sometimes for a bass angler.
Right.
It really is. And you got to have some thick skin. I mean, you really do. You got to have some thick skin.
You do.
I've had women run me off from their dock near their dock because I'm too close to their dock when I was bed fishing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I was like, come on.
Right.
I'm not even touching your dock, but it's whatever.
Right. Go ahead.
Oh,
Beasley.
Beasley's got something to
No,
say.
Beasley's going to speak.
No.
Go for it, Beasley. Go for it, baby.
Okay. No, but one thing I'll say, and it's pretty similar to the Alabama rig, the guys that don't do it as well. Like I'm not good at throwing an Alabama rig, so it's easy for me to say ban an Alabama rig because it would make it easier on me. Same as some of these bed fishing guys. There's people that just can't do it well, and I mean, they're not going to want it legal. They're not going to say it's ethical. That's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
Same as the Alabama rig. I wish I could throw it well. I'm not going to say ban it, but I can't throw it well.
Yeah, well, that's it. Tim Watkins.
Practice makes perfect.
That's what I'm doing. Well, it's kind of
Here's the thing. This is again, and I mentioned this earlier. What catch y'all on the flip side? Got to get back to. All right, see you there, Coker. Again, I read this earlier, and here's a little statement by Kevin Van Dam. So across the U.S., the voluntary catch and release of bass has become the social norm now. This wasn't always the case. As recently as the 1970s, as few as 10% of bass were released back in the 70s. Nowadays, bass catch and release rates often exceed 90 to 95% in some fisheries. Hall of Fame tournament angler Kevin Van Dam, this shift has literally paid dividends over his 30-year career. I've been fishing my whole life, and I've targeted spawning bass many, many times. As a tournament angler, you have to. Nationally, I can tell you bass fishing has never been as good as it is currently. We're in the good old days. There's more pressure than ever. You got more technology than ever. But I think overall, the reason it's been more sustainable is because anglers are so much more educated in every aspect and appreciation for the sport. So basically, in a nutshell, he's saying, all right, if you do just, we can target the bedded fish, but because naturally we're catch and release now, it's not going to hurt the population as if we were doing it back during, the 70s and all that, when people were keeping bass all the time, when people were, not taking as good care of them in the live wells, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that makes total sense to me. It's not going to convince everybody, but that makes sense to me. So you agree with that?
And you're never going to convince everybody.
Right.
I mean, as long as we all live, you're never going to convince everybody anyway. So
that's right. Okay.
That's why I said, you got to have some thick skin.
You do. Okay. With that said, now let's get into how we, and more so, Ryan's more of a sight fisherman than I am. I don't know about Beasley, but let's talk now about how we target bedded fish. And let's start off by saying first, let's start because we're, Lanier's our local lake, but this is, a lot of North Georgia lakes are similar. Spotted bass bed first compared to a largemouth. Would you say that's correct?
Mm-mm.
You would not say that's correct.
Mm-mm.
You would not say that's correct. Okay. So then,
some of them will
where'd you hear
spawn at
that
the same
at?
time.
I've been hearing that a lot here lately.
Spawning bass are spawning right now.
Okay, so that's why I'm hearing spots are on bed in a lot of places, but I don't hear a lot of reports like in the Lanier area that largemouth are bedding. Now I know spots bed deeper than largemouth.
Well, it's clear water.
Okay, so let's do this. So let's talk about. You want to talk about largemouth or spots first? Which one you want to go with?
We'll talk about both.
Okay, well go ahead. So tell us a little bit about how spots bed.
Well, spots typically bed from a foot of water all the way out to about 20 foot of water.
Okay.
They'll spawn deep. They'll spawn shallow. They'll spawn just like largemouth will. They'll spawn around some cover. They'll spawn on hard bottoms and stuff like that. But the ones that do that are the ones that you're talking about that spawn quick. And part of the reason why some of them spawn so quick, pertaining to Lanier, is because of the population of blueback herring. Yep. They know what's coming.
Which you're referring to the shad spawn.
Turn to the herring spawn.
Right.
And they're going to go ahead and they're going to ahead and get their stuff and get out of the way because they know the buffet's about to ring. Oh. And Beasley knows. And all a bunch of people that fish on Lanier specifically, they know. And there is a population of the spots that do spawn pretty early. But that major wave, like what you would see compared to largemouth, like in April, they really don't hit till about the end of April, 1st of May, to where you can pull up to a point.
So am I, Tyler. So am I.
2 pump chumps.
I'll give her the best 8 seconds of her life, and that's it. So there you go.
Spots typically bed atypically.
Yeah.
You gotta leave it to Tyler. You know, like the main wave that you want to look for, that you really want to look for to go have an absolute freaking ball with spotted bass on fishing on the bed, you know, is there towards the middle end of April, 1st of May. You know, water temperatures in the mid 60s, mid to upper 60s, roughly somewhere in that ballpark range. And you can go out on some of these reef poles and some of these shallower humps and stuff, and drag you a different variety of baits around.
Variety.
And, yeah, I cannot say that word.
Say it one more time.
Variety.
He cannot
I cannot
say
say
variety.
variety.
We had that today for
Variety.
discussion today in the shop.
We did, and but hey, it is what it is.
You're Southern. You're from Lumpkin County.
I am
We'll let
from
it pass.
County. Lumpkin County, always in the house over here.
That's right. Show us your Lumpkin County sign that you did earlier.
Oh, that's what when we were young and dumb, we'd run around like this, you know, LC. we were stupid. We were stupid. Oh, 9.
Oh, 9.
Oh,
9.
Yeah, that was all the chant and everything. Because you know it was like what class graduated in.
Yeah, I followed it. I didn't think it was funny, but I followed it.
Oh, we thought it was hilarious. We did out pep rallies. It'd all be a big damn ordeal. Who could yell loudest?
Yeah, I don't even want.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, back to what we're doing.
How about this question?
Does striper play a role
in eating the fry or eggs on bass?
That's a good question.
The herring do.
The herring, I know.
Striper are probably too big to eat the eggs.
And I will say this:
the striper are not concerned one bit about bass fry.
Yeah, if the herring are
they're a little striper are not. They're not concerned whatsoever about bass fry.
I will say this:
bluebacks are.
Bluebacks will devastate bass fry.
I have seen 10,000 blueback herring harassing 2 largemouth on a bed.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm talking 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
And
a blueback's a predator.
And blueback is a predator fish. Everyone always seems to forget that. Oh, it's a bait fish. No, it's a predator fish. It's a predator.
And one of its main sources of food is fish fry.
It is.
Crappie, brim, whatever.
It is, especially in the oceans where you know that's where they all come from.
Right.
They eat fry.
Yeah.
That's what they eat. It's part of what they eat.
And that's why cover plays real big, important, especially with largemouth.
Mm-hmm.
Because
if
you don't have
the fry ain't got a place to get, they're easy pickings for herring, brim.
Yep.
You know, you name it.
How about this question before going? Does water temp or days getting longer or moon phase play the most to the spawn?
Typically, when the days get longer is when they really start, you know, looking to bed, start thinking about bed, kind of like the way the fishing's been for the past couple of weeks. There's going to be, you can write it down here in April, there's going to be a major wave of largemouth and spots spawn.
Yeah.
The first major wave is going to spawn in April.
I'm going to equate it to
as long as we don't have no damn snow happen between now and then. But
like deer hunting. So the bucks start going into rut as the days start getting shorter and all that. The testosterone. I mean, it's like nature's way of saying, okay, it's about time. So a lot of photoperiodism or something like that. It's a scientific term for it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But as the days start getting shorter, it's just an innate nature of them. Okay, it's about time to start chasing the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
And then the does come into estrus about, you know, as the days get shorter and stuff like that. So I would imagine too with fish, you know, nature. You know, I'm not a biologist.
We use that word today.
What's that?
Estrus.
Estrus, yeah. Who has all that estrus?
Those.
I know that. Where'd you say those?
Country sportsmen.
Country sportsmen in Rome.
Country sportsmen in Rome's got all kinds of doe estrus.
You can get True Grit jigs there too, but apparently if you want to buy some deer pee, they got it right there. They got all kinds of deer pee.
And guns.
And guns. Lots and lots and lots of guns. So again, go to Country Sportsman. If you're out there by Rome, tell them the guys at Fish North Georgia and True Grit Tackle sent you. So there you go like that. But I really would say that nature's way is the timing, you know,
mm-hmm.
the moon plays a big part of that and the length of days.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that because brim, bluegill, they bed on the full moon,
mm-hmm.
April, May, June, right in that. Those two, you know, stronger, you know, in April and May, but it, yeah, they go through, but it's always on the full moon.
About every full moon, about typically May through about September.
Yeah.
They'll spawn.
They'll spawn, but it's generate. They'll spawn on the full moon,
mm-hmm.
pull off,
mm-hmm.
go back up and spawn again the next full moon, stuff like that. So,
yep.
Okay, so let's see. Pull up Chef Matt right there. Let's read this question. Does the opinion change for other species like we're talking about? Trout is even more heretical than in my bass to catch them on their, I'm going to say beds.
Reds.
On the reds? What is reds?
That's a bed for trout.
Bed for trout. Okay, I'm learning that language. But crappie probably don't get any consideration. I can tell you this, nobody talks about popping brim and crappie off a bed ever. I did not know that trout got on the reds. I've never thought about it.
It is it is tantamount to snagging.
Oh, really? So in the trout world, to catch one off the bed or /red, it's heretical. Like
It is the No,
so Paul is saying if you can't
are persona non grata.
Yeah, so Paul is saying that you are scum.
Yeah,
You are lower than scum in the trout world.
The only thing you could do worse is snag them or catch them with a cast net.
Okay, so do you fish for a trout on the bed the same way you would a bass?
Yeah, I never heard about that before.
Because I had no idea. I thought
even...
trout would be more like, hey, let's just squeeze them out in the ocean.
I'll be honest, I've never done it. I've never thought about it much, but
I've never seen a trout.
I've never seen it either.
Most of our trout water is marginal.
That is true.
They don't succeed.
That is true. That is true. That makes sense. And if so, though, I
thought trout eggs was like similar to salmon eggs. They needed to move.
Rolled it.
They needed to roll down.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, I just shows. Hey, I don't know.
I'm not a trout fisherman.
They still fan out.
An
area.
Really?
Cool.
Okay, so there we learned something today.
Mr. Paul Coonan.
From Mr. Paul Coonan, tip of the week.
Yelling back.
And it's called reds, not beds.
Reds.
So when the guys from Big Canoe come up here, we say, hey, do you catch fish on the reds?
Oh, there you go.
That's a good question for those guys.
We'll confuse the snot out of them. They probably don't spawn successfully, if I would bet.
Obviously, they don't spawn successfully.
I mean, they put 2 tons of them in a month, right?
That right there, get checked, Jeremiah. Some trout, char, and salmon don't feed at all while spawning, and you basically have to irritate them into striking. I can see that. And again, whoever Facebook user is, honest to goodness, this is my favorite way to fish. I don't care how old I get.
Bob her down.
Tube of crickets and the ultralight first full moon in May is some fun on a big old bed of brim. And reds are sacred to fly fishing purists. I find that interesting because, again, like I said, I didn't know trout made beds at all. So we're going to have to do some research on that. But tubes of crickets, man, listen, I don't care. They don't get any funner to get some big old shell cracker or titty brim, as they call them, big old bull-headed bluegills, stuff like that. I know y'all
bluegill are the way.
You're supposed to say titty, but we did. So anyway, okay, so you talked a little bit about spots. They bed a little bit deeper on that largemouth. Let's talk about what they're going to bed on, and then we're going to talk about how to approach them.
Hard bottom, real shallow, backs of pockets and stuff, backs little creeks and stuff. Around some cover.
More structure oriented than the spot.
A little bit more structure. I mean, they'll spawn near something,
right?
But I mean, they'll also if a buck wants to, he'll make a bed on a log. I mean,
I've seen that.
He'll do it. I mean, there's
up in North Carolina,
the rules for largemouth is a lot, different compared to spots. So, spots, they make a bed. And they're mega aggressive around that bed.
I love it.
And wonder if lady trout get around.
No. We're going to do Chef Matt's suggestion. Go ask on Reddit's fly fishing group how to fish reds, and you'll be permabound.
You'll be permabanned.
Let's go see how fast we can get banned on another group.
We'll make us a fake
try
account.
That. Reds or trout beds, browns and brooks in the fall, rainbows in the spring.
Ooh.
Hey, there you go. Trout guys coming out with some trout information.
Drew is hammered.
Who is that?
Drew is hammered.
Drew.
He is hammered tonight. He's going to come back in tomorrow. He's going, guys, Danny, I'm sorry.
He did. Last time Drew was commenting like this, he was out cutting wood, drinking beer, and all that. He said,
"You want me to go in on that? I can't."
Yeah, go in on that.
Yeah.
If Lady Trout get around, come and jump in here, or we can kick Beasley off, or whichever one wherever your camera is. Are you on the camera? There we go.
I'll jump in here.
Hey, it's
so Drew, it's not the lady trout; it's the male trout. And especially like in salmon fisheries too. Some species, they stay up in the river for a couple of years before they go out to sea. And those male fish will, they call them like the precocious par. They're parfish. And they'll sneak in on that red with that ladyfish and
Yeah.
kind of get between her and that big mature male and spread their seed a little bit and kind of sneak in there and
it's
pass on their genes.
It's a hit and run.
It is.
So the seed coming.
The par coming.
The par coming. The par coming. So great. Now
So
that
there you go.
New shirt.
all right, new shirt. Hey, new shirt coming out. The par cometh with the brim cometh. We'll do that. And so, hey, listen, we've actually learned some trout stuff today.
We have.
That's pretty good because we're pretty ignorant on it.
That's why the DNR stock rainbows. They get the eggs in the spring, so they're stocking size the next spring.
Danny, you are amazing.
Danny Hogshead right there.
We absolutely appreciate it. I love our viewers because you guys know so much and y'all always pop off some
we
good
never
stuff.
really say we appreciate. We say we appreciate the viewership.
Love you guys.
But
Oh,
we
we
never
love
but
you. I
we
love
don't we don't always give our viewers the props of thank you for
I love you.
that's going in the $9.99
Yeah.
edited video with
Uh-oh.
everything else.
We're going to do that, guys. Listen, seriously, we're going to come
Oh,
out. Now,
my
listen, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to be for kids to watch, but one of these days, we're going to cut an outtake video of stuff from behind the scenes that you guys have never seen before. And if we put a bleep on, the whole video is going to be 2 hours of beep, 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 like that, but it ought to be pretty entertaining. So
what
$9.99 is going to
Like-
come out.
Jeremiah mentioned cuttlefish. We talk about what Mr.
Amen.
Scott Master said
Oh, we learned something else
about.
today, too.
We learned about the grouper.
Yeah, they start off as a female.
They start out like all groupers start off as female
Yes.
when they're born. All groupers
Mhm.
start as females,
Yes, Justin.
and then as time goes on and they make their own little schools and stuff like that, one of the bigger ones,
All of a
the
sudden,
biggest one, will turn into a male.
I don't even know what
and
you
then
want to call
he
him at that point.
And then
That's
he
what
gets every
said
bit of
before.
that action in that school.
He does. And now listen too. He gets all the action, and then when somebody comes and catches and jerks
Right.
him off the thing, then the next biggest female goes, "Well, I think it's time to be a male."
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I'm gonna get some action.
This is no joke. This is no joke.
scientific.
Look, Michael King said, "I'll pay $9.99." There we go.
I want to see.
All right, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll do
Oh.
it. We'll make it up like that.
Am I
So-
on that? Oh, yeah.
No,
Oh.
yeah, we'll talk about your nuts.
It's gonna have a blackout screen. It's gonna say CTBs, and then it's gonna come up with the beginning of
We're
it.
gonna highlight your camel toe.
Yeah, that's right.
So like that. It might even be
It
the cover side.
was the lighting, I swear.
It is definitely an OnlyFans.
It was the lighting, I swear.
Yeah, listen. Our Lumpkin County High School competing team against Beasley's over here. We're giving them all kinds of ammo to throw at Beasley.
Yeah, y'all do know what a camel toe is, right? I mean, you don't because your nuts ain't dropped yet. So what about you? I mean, Scooter. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. So, I'm playing with you, kid, man. I'm playing with you. I'm sure your nuts have dropped. So anyway,
You know what they say about
your mom ain't gonna
assuming.
watch this.
You know what they say about
Well, she
assuming,
does
right?
apologize. I'm sorry. I'm sorry ahead of time, but there's a reason I have to go to church every Sunday, and it's because of this daggone show and all the stuff we say. But anyway, we are actually thinking about doing that, so it will be entertaining.
We love you, Beasley.
We do love you. What was I talking about before we got on the?
We're talking about the.
Oh, let me tell you what he told me today.
What?
Okay, here's another thing that Meister told me today.
When Meister comes and graces us with his presence, and if he's watching this or watches this at a
I
later
love you
date,
too, Meister.
we love the fact when you come to the store. So
What it was is he was a saltwater biologist with a DNR, and he works in the feds and stuff like that. A lot of interest in stuff. He's actually going to be a guest one day on the show. They have to clear it with their higher uppers, so that's kind of where he's at like that. But he told me
Biden's got to say, okay.
Yeah, Brandon's got to say, okay, Scott, you can go toast a waffle over there at the whatever. Seriously, what a dumbass. But anyway, sorry for you guys that vote Democrat. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm sorry. I don't mean to get political in here. But anyway, I'm going to get a comment in the comment
We're gonna
section.
Worst part about it, we're gonna get sanctions set on us. So
All of a sudden, I'm on a no-fly list.
we're on the no-fly list.
That red
Josh
flag
is going to
Marble
need
Hill.
you. Josh is going to need you to go to Romania. Right? I mean, not Josh. Etowah Church is going to need you to go to Romania. Again. You're not going to be able to go.
Go through the TS or whatever. I'm going to be.
They're going to flag you.
That beard's gonna have to come off.
That's
They'll
right.
let him flag.
He won't let them flag it. Did you know they won't let you take peanut butter on a plane?
Why?
I'll tell you that story later. But anyway, so
All right,
flounder.
All right, so
A
flounder.
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 When it is born, both eyes. It's like a regular fish. Okay, eyes on either side of their head. As they come down after about 30 days, they go and they start laying on the bottom, and that freaking eye migrates as it grows to get to the same side as the other.
Oh my God!
That flounder are not born with both eyes on one side. I learned that today from Scott. So we got transsexual fish, and we got moving eyeballs.
So we got Jeremiah and Scott dropping the knowledge about flounder.
Where's it at? Where's
Because
Jeremiah?
Jeremiah said the same thing right.
Oh, I didn't even read it, Jeremiah.
Well, he commented that about the same time you started
Looking
telling
like
the
regular
story.
fish,
Yeah.
and they have one eye go to the side. So think about that, though. Their optic nerve and everything has to move as it morphs into that.
So
critter.
groupers are Democrats.
Groupers are Democrats. Well, yeah.
That's
Yeah. So
like that boy who won
That's
the.
what you want to take
That's
away.
you
like-
want to take away from that?
It's like that boy who won the swimming competition against all the women.
No.
Listen.
I identify as an attack
Listen, I mean, it is what it is, but good Lord, that's like me going to a swimming contest against kindergartners or something like that. I ought to be able to win. So I don't know. That's
This is also true. It's very important.
what flounders have 4 fillets.
4 fillets, baby.
Well, hell, they don't say that on the package when I buy them up at the Walmart or stuff like that. I didn't know that. Have you ever tried to clean a flounder?
Mm-mm.
That's a pain in the ass.
Bake them whole.
Grouper. The thing about the grouper blows my mind, though.
Mhm.
It's just like, oh, okay, hey, just switch. So they have to do that. But anyway,
I don't
okay,
want to say what's really on my mind.
say it.
No, I'm
Don't
not
make
going to.
Don't say it.
So don't make it weird.
I ain't gonna say
Come
it.
on, man. Our viewership
Don't say
goes
it.
up when we get weird.
I
Don't
ain't
say
gonna
it.
say it.
Come on, say it.
I ain't gonna say it.
You chicken.
Viewership
I'm gonna
goes
say
up,
it.
monetization goes
I ain't gonna say
We
it.
don't make enough money on YouTube. We're not going to lose
I ain't
this.
gonna
We might
say
get banned, though, from it.
down. That's wrong.
Well, we don't get
Fish
banned.
North Georgia too.
Yeah,
don't
Josh
get
come in.
banned.
Josh come in. Josh, I got some bad news. Well, we got banned from YouTube.
Yeah.
Ryan said something about asexual fish and something like that. And it just went downhill from there. So you get 2 fillets from each. Jeremiah, you got to quit being like a library, son. Everyone.
He's a fish library.
You get 2 fillets from each side of a flounder. You're getting robbed when you buy them at the store or a restaurant.
Listen to him.
There you go. There you go, Jeremiah. So that's pretty cool. So, but actually cleaning the flounder, I know we're talking about bed fish and it sucks. I've tried to do it, and after about half of it, I'm like, this stuff is like $6.99 at Kroger. I don't need to do
That's
this.
right.
So, all right. Anyway,
$6.99.
yeah, it's probably more than that, ain't it?
I said, what are you getting? Like 1 fish stick worth?
You got to go up here to the IGA. Good Lord, it's expensive too. I guess that's because they're really pounding it to those big canoe people up there, as far as prices and stuff
Halibut.
like that. Halibut, same thing. Halibut
Fish North Georgia give you a deal, though.
on flounder. I tell you what, I do got. I got some stock trout fillets up there that Blake's granddaddy brought me. They're frozen and nice. If anybody wants them, they can have them like that. So come by the store, buy a rod. I'll give you a trout. How about that?
Oh God.
Is that a promotion?
I guess.
All right. So also, let's get back to the bed fishing. All right. So we've talked about where they're bedding, kind of differences. So right now, tomorrow, let's start with a spot. You're gonna go. Where some spots are on bed.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about this in the store. Spots on bed are a little bit different creatures than a largemouth on bed.
Mm-hmm.
So explain to everybody the differences as you see it and as we all see it, and our opinions on that, as far as first to the aggressiveness of a spot on the bed.
If you throw anything near their bed, whether it's moving or stationary, they will attack it.
It's like, I'm
like-
serious. It's like
It really
it's
doesn't
like
matter.
they're 10 foot from the bed. They're like, oh, what is that? Boom.
Yeah, yeah,
Whereas a largemouth will not.
yeah. Who is the OMC guy?
Who is OMC?
Oh my God, Drew!
Okay.
I love IGA fried cheese. He's drunk
I
as a
love
skunk.
IGA fried chicken.
He's drunk as a skunk tonight, dude. He must have went home. Felt bad. Did I not speak to him when he came to the store today?
You didn't talk to him. He said his feelings are hurt.
His
He went
feelings
home.
are hurt. So he went home and
He
drowned
went
it.
home.
He pulled old George Jones.
Who is
Drinking
the
don't
OMC
kill me.
guy? The OMC guy is one of our buddies, Drew. So he's pretty good. He's pretty funny too.
Mhm.
Good guy, very good guy. So like that. So anyway,
But
we had some fun with him. All right,
anyway,
so spots. on the bed.
spot. So you're one of your number one. So like if you're going to go tomorrow, you're like, I'm going to go find spots that are bedding. Probably your number one bait that you can throw is a fluke.
Yep.
You can just throw a fluke. They'll, oh, what's that? and they'll come
Mhm.
chase it.
So, but you don't.
And then sometimes they'll eat it, sometimes they'll just attack it and swat at it, or they'll follow it back.
Yeah.
They're like, all
They
red-
love attacking.
all
it.
red eyed
yeah.
and everything,
Cur dogs
crazy.
rule.
Um,
There
jeez.
you go.
But that when if they don't eat it or you get a hook in them or whatever, when they see the boat or whatever, they'll turn around and you can watch them where they go back. And as you watch them swim away, then you can take like a wacky worm or a shaky head or something like that.
But
or
you
whatever.
target them differently though than you would a largemouth.
Yeah.
You're going to use the spots aggressiveness.
Yeah, they'll give themselves away.
Beds over here,
And if you
cast
keep
over
saying
there.
Bed's over here, and you can cast 15 feet to the right, and they
They
get
find
up.
it. That's sometimes the best bites when they have to run for it.
And one of the dead giveaways for spots compared to largemouth is if it's in question on whether or not a spot is on the bed, and you're not throwing a fluke, so you're throwing a shaky head or a wacky worm or something
I know
like
where
that.
you're going with this. Yep.
Where am I going?
You're going to talk about the way they hit it.
No.
Well, shit.
No, well, I mean, I will talk about that too.
Okay.
But if you catch one, look at its eyes. If its eyes are
yeah.
red
Yeah.
and orange looking, that spot's either made a bed and is waiting or is on the bed.
On the bed.
That's-
we did talk about
That's
that.
why I know they're spawning.
Mm-hmm.
Half my fish last, what was it, Sunday?
Yep.
Half of them were
Mhm.
Red eye?
red eye crazy.
So the fish you caught, they've either made a bed
Mhm.
or there's actually some fish around there
Mhm.
that are actually spawning or trying to spawn at that time.
We're going to get on that here in a second, Jeremiah, the actual specific baits. But how about that question right below it? Do you put a treble hook on the bottom of your fluke, or on the bottom side of your flukes,
Ooh.
or extra wide gap hook?
love
On an
fishing.
extra wide gap hook.
I mean, if you're wanting to catch them, I mean, yeah. But if you're just wanting to use it as a search tool, I mean, I don't really know why you would want to do that. But I mean,
So you want
I mean,
me
I
to throw
guess
a
you
fluke? You put a
could.
treble on it?
mm-mm.
Okay, so you're
No.
saying you don't.
No, I don't. When I'm searching for them,
Okay,
so
Fluke fishing is the best thing.
it is a
ever
pretty.
on
It's
land.
a pretty
That
interesting
is,
bite.
if there's one thing I feel I'm good at, it's fluke fishing.
It's fluke fishing.
Fluke fishing is home.
Beasley. If there's one thing I'm good at,
If there's
you're good at a lot of things. So you're good.
Ron
at
Swinford
I'll
dropping setups here.
Here we go. Listen to this. Take a 3/16 ounce weight above a bobber stop about 12 inches up the line. Then put a finesse worm on a round bend hook and fish it on a spinning rod like a Carolina rig. You will catch bigs and a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Jeremiah throw the lizard out there.
They also put the white too because it's small,
Mhm.
compact, and easy to see. So and
Mhm.
we're gonna we'll get to that. So colors now, but you're using a fluke or a search bait for the spots
Mhm.
to kind of see where they're at and what they're doing.
Yeah,
Now with a largemouth, you pretty much you see the bed and either
pretty much you're looking.
Mhm.
You're looking.
And it's more sight.
You got your polarized glasses on. You got a hood up. You got a hat pulled down like this.
you
And you're looking. You got
you're
your
like-
little cone,
you're looking.
and
I
you're
love it.
looking.
Um,
You got all your electronics turned off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
Love
No
it.
electronics.
No
on
electronics.
that.
Yeah.
That's Ryan's kind of fishing,
Yeah,
man.
no electronics.
Electronics
And-
turned off is pretty good anyway.
yeah.
Do you think
Let's-
electronics? Do you think they spook a little
Coming
bit with
around.
the sound of
Shit.
I mean, I know a lot of people say the basket conditioned to the ping ping.
Well, listen.
You think it messes with them while they're on the bed?
Listen, this is my opinion.
And that's what I want.
This is my opinion, and I'll argue with you. If you get near one within like 20, 30 yards of one that's on the bed, I promise you, they know you're there.
Yep.
They know you're there before you even see them.
Right.
They know you're
Now,
there.
do you think that's
They
even without
have
electronics?
when largemouth spawn, their senses get heightened. Their
Okay.
vision gets heightened. Their lateral line is at peak performance.
Coker's back.
Yeah,
Couldn't stay away,
Couldn't
could you?
stay away. He
There's a
had to
train
come
wreck
back.
going on over there in Fish, North Georgia. Car, I got to watch.
But yeah. So, but I mean, your electronics ain't really going to help you none.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I mean, they're not really going to help you. You're going to be looking.
Okay.
And can't stress enough the importance of something that's overlooked if you're going to go bed fishing, matching your clothes to the sky.
That's right. It's like fishing camouflage.
Seriously. Seriously,
No, it
like
makes
I mean,
perfect
I mean, some
If
people
you're out
will
there
say
in hot pink, they
cliche.
can see you.
Yeah, if you're out there in hot pink and you're like, "Come get me, ladies," they see you. They
Yep.
see you real good.
Every tournament I fished, I've been wearing that bright blue huck shirt.
There you
On
go.
those
See,
sunny
listen,
days.
he's blending in with the
Blending
sky.
in with
Blending
the
in
sky.
with the sky.
Okay. Well, it makes
I'll-
sense.
I'll say with that electronic stuff, I wasn't really a believer in it until I rig up in my garage, and my transducer for the trolling motor is right there next to the garage door, and I actually have my front graph on, and I heard that,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? You were?
and I'm like,
audibly-
damn, that's loud.
Listen to him. He's like, "Damn, that's loud."
That's funny.
Oh,
But
that's
you
funny.
audibly were able to hear the click.
Oh, I could hear it really. Yeah,
So
I
you
could.
know the fish can hear it.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That-
Definitely. And the water, I mean, sound travels so well. I mean,
Yeah.
like you hear like a
sounds amplified.
little,
in
yeah, you
water.
hear that little tungsten jig click against a rock, and it's like it's loud.
Click.
So
That's a good point.
I
That's
mean
a
that
good point.
little
Absolutely.
transducer doing that the whole time that speeds up and it slows down.
Sounds like a
I-
drum. Sounds
I
like a
noticed
big old
that.
steel drum.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Here come the engines. All right, so I love everybody.
High school one.
Here
They're
come the
Indians.
here come the
They're
Lumberton County High School Indians.
Indians. Y'all paint that rock too, man.
Yeah.
That gum rock needs a break. Y'all paint that daggum rock.
Man,
up there. That rock's,
listen,
y'all don't win a lot, so don't
Listen,
paint it
a couple of years ago, they actually pressure washed it because there was I think they said there was somewhere about between 10 and 11 inches worth of paint on that rock.
I know it.
And they chipped it all off and
Yeah.
stuff. Got it all off. And there's a second rock in Lumpkin County too. There's one up at the high school.
That's the rock I'm talking about, the one at the high school.
There's one at the high
At the
school,
stadium,
and
the
then
football
there's
stadium.
one at the old high school, and that's just down the middle school.
Okay,
too.
all
That's
right, so
the
there you go.
original rock.
Y'all can't afford billboards or nothing up there.
No, we got
You got your rocks. so
Mr.
I'm-
Cottrell is a very, very, very generous man.
Yeah, I like.
Got to name everything. Got to name everything after him.
I like
but,
the rocks.
You know,
I mean, y'all don't get to paint it but once every 2 years, but I mean, it's nice.
but yeah, but I mean, you're just looking for white spots and stuff, and as you find one, you look at it, and
like
Mhm.
Jeremiah said, anything different.
yeah, anything a little bit different.
It
Anywhere
does
where they
that.
fanned away
Especially
with
on the
their
grassy
tail.
bottom.
Yeah.
You can go over there. There's a place on Latham where it's a lot of
Yes.
grass, and them
Mhm.
beds just glow because it's like
Yeah.
green, green,
At
green, green,
Seminole.
brown, green, 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 brown.
That's
And
why I
it's
fished for those post spawn fish at Seminole. I knew it was a bed tournament, and I got one on beds. But I'm like, everybody finds these.
Everybody finds that. Now we're going to talk about how we attack them. I will say this, and it's something that I learned from Jesse Millsap. You ain't got to go, do you? Oh, did I run you off about the rock comment? I didn't mean to hurt y'all's feelings like that. So we do appreciate you guys stopping by. Actually, come here, you two. Come here and at least put your faces on camera. Come here. You can leave that chair. You can leave that chair. Hey, walk right over there. Look into that. Well, you can just kind of look in
right
there
here.
and tell your name and what.
Look right here.
There's Scooter. There's Scooter. What's your name again? Tyler. So Tyler what?
Boggs.
Tyler Boggs and Scooter Lagon that's it. Lagon?
Legan.
Legan?
It's wrong every day.
Listen, I just
Lagon.
call him Scooter.
Lagon.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
I'm
funny story is
gonna
I
change your
texted him
name
one
in my
time.
phone to Lagon.
Lagon. I just always knew him as Scooter.
He's Scooter.
And so how are y'all? Okay, so real quick, how are y'all doing in the Georgia high school thing right now?
Get down here.
Yeah,
And
get down there. You gotta stick your face down there. Listen to this.
I'll steal Ryan's.
Still Ryan's camera for a second.
Sit down.
Yeah, still down real quick. We're going. All right, can you get them? All right, so how are y'all doing right now in the Georgia high school tournament thing? What's it called? What?
GHSF.
GHSF. How are you doing?
We're leading in points
Yes,
right
sir.
now.
You're leading
yeah.
points right now. How many? How many points you got?
Oh,
A bunch.
Because it's a bunch.
I don't know how many points. We're like, 6 ahead of second.
Six
So.
ahead of
Yep.
second. That's all.
Which
All
is-
you got to do is be one.
Which is Cooper McDonald.
Cooper McDonald, and that he fishes for Lumpkin as
Yeah.
well.
Correct. Yes.
And then
Jake.
and then I'm in third.
You're
So
in
all
third.
of us Fish North Georgia kids are
So we got so good. So currently, right now, 2 of the top 3 in that trail is sitting in this room. That's right. That's pretty awesome,
Yes, as
though.
long as
So-
one of y'all get famous.
I'll
yeah,
try.
just remember us when you're fishing for money and all that. You know,
Ah,
when you're
yeah.
famous and all that.
You'll have to
Kind of.
talk to Tyler about that.
Oh, are you the talent? He's the looks. Is that what it is? Is that
I guess so. Yeah.
okay? There you go. Well, first of all, I mean, listen, appreciate you guys stopping by. A real quick story is I coached Scooter in football back.
Uh-oh.
I did.
Yeah, there's Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper's watching. So there's Cooper. So we got all three of the top in the high school right there in that. Say it again.
GHSF.
GHSF.
Georgia High School Fishing.
But I coached Scooter in football a long time ago in a tournament up at Lumpkin County.
Come on.
And listen, and he saw me get mad and throw a fit in the locker room, and I actually bit. There's a dented locker up there in Lumpkin County on your field house, and I did that.
Yeah, I messed my pants. I won't forget that. Yeah.
Hey, and listen, the bad thing about it was we was winning.
We were winning. Yeah, I don't even think it was close.
It was at halftime, and I got really mad at the guys. That was pre-Jesus Danny. So like that, but again, but you were a little shit back in the day, though. You were small. You were fast as hell.
I was, yeah.
But I hadn't seen him since then. I saw him at Jimbo's thing, and he's like 6'6" or whatever. However tall he is now.
Oh my God! You were 6'6". He just called you Satan.
It's been a long day. It's been long, but I know.
Lincoln's over here. He's like, we gotta go.
So again, though, I appreciate you guys coming up here, and we wish you guys.
Cooper said, "Put Jim on."
That was a flat no.
That's right. So they won some of the gift cards.
They come and spent their gift cards that they won in the GHSF.
Yeah. So we do sponsor that, and we give away some gift cards and stuff like that. And then they come in here and rob us blind.
Right.
No, it's good. Y'all get some good stuff. Did you get?
I think so.
Okay, well, good.
Good.
I don't know about Tyler.
Yeah. Well, one of these days we might be as big as Hammond's. We'll have a selection in there. But
Maybe one day.
got a hat. Okay, you can't have enough hats.
Yeah,
Can't have enough hats. But
they're both walking out of here with Fish North Georgia hats.
there you go. So again,
Something that Beasley seems to not want to wear.
Oh my
Because he's
God!
stuck
I
in
don't
the
ever
dugout.
get any of your gift cards
because you
ever.
Well, why don't you win something?
You get the trophy in the rod or something. Regardless. I know y'all got to go.
You need to put your stuff in the
I know y'all got to go. But
Put
I appreciate
myself in
y'all
what?
stopping by.
The
It's good to
winning
see you
thing.
growing up,
Actually, I did get
Now
a bunch
I
of True Grit stuff, but I don't get any gift cards.
Okay, well,
Oh,
we'll have to work on that. So
I
anyway,
hope so.
it's y'all's
Well,
bedtime.
these guys
Y'all
are going to be
gotta
winning
go.
the next one,
Yeah,
so they're going to get it
yeah.
again.
Gotta get in bed. All
Y'all
right.
go get to bed. Jim's got to get hauling eggs. We appreciate y'all coming.
Next time though, don't wear that purple thing. Huh? Don't wear purple.
See y'all.
Y'all be good.
See y'all.
So anyway, again, like, hey, guys, what they did tonight is they just came down here and some other people have done it. You're more than welcome always to just come hang out while we do the show. You never know. We might throw you on there.
I made that mistake.
That's why you're still here. We did it one time.
Beasley's still here.
That's how Paul got here.
before I did.
Yeah.
See, look at that. Paul came.
Yeah, Paul showed up, and all of a sudden, Paul's running the damn thing. so, I mean, that's what happens.
The good Lord brought talent in the door. He's
Yeah,
like,
that's
you guys
right.
might need this guy right
Blessed be those who walk through thy door.
here. That's exactly right.
I got takes from something.
Hey, okay, while you're reading
Job
your text,
had
how about-
1,000 she
Can you
asses.
make a drink run?
What?
Make a drink run.
Can
He
you
said
make?
he got a
Drink
text. I
run.
have to do
No,
Did your girlfriend text you?
That's Facebook.
Okay, well, all right. Well,
I don't think.
so before
Yeah, I
we
get those
into
all the time, man.
that,
13-inch anaconda. What?
could you make a drink run right now? Like, could you go get us something to
Can
drink?
you go get us something to drink?
What do you want?
I want a Pepsi.
I want a Coke and a
I want
water.
a Pepsi.
A Coke and a water?
Yeah,
We got a water cup.
we got a lot more talking we got to do.
We still got an hour.
I'm parched.
We still got
All right, pull this comment up right here. Dylan Johnson.
I already gave Dylan some.
Man, he's like
Listen,
begging for
I'm heading up to
stuff.
Toto Creek. and
I even
Chesapeake
answered your
River
question today.
during the first week of April for spring break. What lures would you recommend? I'm actually fishing a tournament on.
We
no,
had
it's
already
Thompson.
give you all the juice, Dylan. Come on now.
Yeah, I'm fishing Thompson. I said Toto Creek's the next one.
Old Toto.
I might be able to help you with Thompson, but I can't help you with Toto right now. But anyway, what's up, Kevin, and all that? Anyway, lock the door. Also, Beasley. There you go, Dane. Appreciate you looking out for us like that.
Actually, I lied, Dylan. Ryan said trickworm.
And a specific,
Just saying. Ryan said trickworm.
trickworm. So, I remember the Thursday Paul came up with his bottling, and Danny canceled the show because of the weather. Did I do that right there? I know we canceled the show because of the weather one time.
Phil on, I think, and I came up with that bottle of.
Whatever it was.
It was the bird.
It was the bird. Oh, the good stuff. Oh,
It was the bird.
what was that? Fighting cock?
It was.
Oh yeah, Fighting Cock. So yeah, Thompson Creek. Yeah, I forgot that. Yeah, guys, you want to have a good time? Fighting Cock's pretty stout. Just ask Aaron Cole.
He was tore
I
up.
believe Josh had to drive him home that night. But anyway, we'll get okay.
I thought Gayton took him home.
Gayton did no. One of them took him home, and Aaron was like, "I love you, man. No way."
Oh.
I love
Aaron
you,
Cole's
man.
watching.
Aaron ain't gonna watch this.
Don't
It's past
turn
his
red.
bedtime. But somebody's gonna say, "Aaron, did you hear what Danny said about you on the show last night?"
Oh, it was fun.
Oh, it was. But anyway, let's get back to how we target them. Now, one interesting thing that I learned from watching Jesse Millsap last year in the NPFL is that
Well, we're gonna have Jesse on the show.
we need to get Jesse back on. We need to get him up there. We'll do that. You gonna hand me my drink?
Bother
Dave?
him, so we need to get both of them.
We do. Pass that thing on down.
What's that?
My drink.
Oh man.
The
Why is
pet-
my chair sinking? Oh
A
God.
lot of weight on it, baby. A lot of weight on it. Anyway, I said in it last week and it sunk, and I said, somebody done messed with my chair. So anyway, I was
Feel
watching the
short,
tournament. They were fishing, whatever lake they were fishing. Of course, Jesse was sight fishing.
What, Cumberland?
No.
This
Oh,
was
you're
last
talking
year.
way back out.
This was last year, one of the first things.
I'll let you know this.
And there would be a buck and the lady on the bed. Now, what Jesse would do is whatever at the time he was throwing a white true grit swim jig, just say no, but he was throwing it out there and he was letting the buck would always grab it first and he wouldn't set the hook. He'd let the buck take it off the bed, drop it, and then he would turn around and he'd repeat. And he did that several times. And eventually the female gets tired of the buck not being able to handle his business. And then she would get agitated. And that's when he would target the big girl like that. So, I mean, have you ever done anything like that? I mean, I watched Jesse do that, trying to entice it. And on the particular one they had on, he had one shot. She took it. He didn't miss it, but he worked that scenario, agitating the buck bass to fire up the female. So, Ryan, you got a little more experience and stuff like that than I do, and Beasley does. So, stuff like that. Do you get hit to do things like that, or you approach it a different way?
I'll let Beasley answer first.
Huh?
All right, Beasley.
Man, I don't know how to fish, man. What, fishing beds?
Yeah, how do you approach a bed?
So
Let's say a large
there's a bed sitting there, right? And there's the fish on it.
Damn shot in him.
There's a fish on it, and then so I've had luck with.
We want to see them beautiful.
Yeah, cock that hat back a little bit. We can see his face.
Look at that.
There we go.
Yeah, look at those features. Look at those features. Now you look like you're 5 years younger now that you shaved that stuff off your face. You're so cute. Okay, we want to see it. There we go.
I'm gonna get him a girlfriend.
We're gonna get you a girl if we can.
I fish too much.
That's gonna be the next fundraiser.
Fundraiser.
We're gonna buy you a girl.
The inaugural
We need-
the inaugural Eric Beasley girlfriend tournament.
Eric Beasley girlfriend. I want that. Okay.
You think we get like a stripper to come here? For
Oh God, maybe.
I was just curious. All right,
They
go ahead.
might not.
Are you getting that Beasley?
We'll call Pinkston.
Oh God.
There you go.
All right.
Get you a
So
ham sandwich.
He looks
See?
12.
you got.
Okay, is that your bed?
Yeah. Here's my bed. All right.
All right, here's his bed.
All right. So you got
We
the
got some high
bed,
tech
right?
graphics here.
Okay. And then this will be our.
Oh, good lord!
Oh yeah.
Like we're really prepared.
This will be our male bass, right? So he's on it, and then there's the female on it.
This is a primitive way of
This is
doing
Man.
this.
interesting.
My bait.
These damn
See?
bait's bigger than both fish.
Throw that in there.
What are we doing? Spearfishing?
And when, oh, perfect. Okay, so yeah, so you get the anaconda, the only bed fishing bait ever. If you throw anything else, you're losing. So,
This is great.
so you get that there, and if a male bites it, you catch him. I mean, just the fish bites, you catch them, right? And you throw them in a live well or whatever. I don't know. Depends how many fish you have.
This is good. This is good.
I'm losing brain cells.
No, this is good.
I feel like I'm.
Keep her alive,
All right.
baby.
Hang on, where's my
Oh,
bowl of
oh,
paint
This
chips?
is your
Okay.
best risk, your best work ever.
Your best- Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Then drag it back through there.
Beasley.
once that male's gone, you see a female still there. Throw that worm in there.
Mr. Beasley.
It eats it.
Mr. Beasley.
Yes.
What happens if the female leaves?
Well, then you don't catch it.
Oh,
Okay. So you can then you drag your 13-inch anaconda. It's the only bed fishing bait ever.
listen to
You
him.
drag it. It's right in the middle, right? That's sweet or the sweet spot. Gerald Swindle, I'm pretty sure, said something about that once. And
Mr. Beasley.
yeah,
What's the sweet spot?
like
where
a
the
G-spot.
fish bite it.
Beasley doesn't know about that. Yeah.
Danny, I swear to God. Okay.
The dough is still on the bed.
Yeah, we're waiting, Michael. This is the longest damn explanation in the history of fishing that I've ever heard, but let's keep going.
Okay. And then, if you drag it through there and the female bites, then you catch it. Or if you're Drew Cook at St. T. Cooper and there's 2 females on the bed and a male, you'd spend a lot.
That is a
You spend a lot of time
menage a trois on the bed right there, fish.
and you
Moulin
catch the
Rouge.
male.
The Moulin Rouge. Whatever the hell they say. C'est moi.
You
I got a great story about that.
Oh, God.
Menage a trois with fish?
Okay.
No.
Oh, okay, here we go.
That-
But yeah.
that phrase.
You catch the male off the bed if you're Drew Cook, and you realize I shouldn't have done that. 30 minutes later, you release him. He swims back to the bed, fires up that 7-pound female, and then you catch that one. With, of course, what brand is this?
Just say the Ron Jeremy of worms. Everybody else will know what you're talking about. You won't know, but we will.
The hedgehog.
The hedgehog.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then if it's spotted bass fishing, you have your random 4-pounder that's just sitting there, and then you get your fluke and you throw it that way, and then it eats it.
That is the most scientific thing I've ever heard.
It is.
I
I've
literally
done a
feel-
lot of studying.
I
on this.
literally feel like I ate a popcorn bowl of paint chips.
Right there. Seriously.
The lead ones.
Seriously.
They taste
but I
better.
mean, like,
Crushed it.
you
I
crushed
did.
it. That
I'm
was
telling
actually,
you.
listen, I'm going to give you.
That's the way to do it, man.
Do
Or
you
your
double fist the anaconda, Beasley? It was a simple question from the thing. I'm just reading it.
Holy moly.
So let me rephrase that. I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble here, but do you even know what double fisting is?
I ain't answering. I
It's
am
turning
not
red.
talking about anything.
No.
You're the
Ever.
one
I have learned not to do or say anything on this show ever.
Why? It's all fun. That's actually the most you've talked about
That is
in one
because
segment.
I get to talk. I always
And it was funny. It was good.
I always try to talk in
You did a good
the.
job.
Arkansas is about to beat Gonzaga. There you
All
go.
right.
Whoa, yeah.
All right.
I didn't make one this
We
year.
don't
I
get
knew
to
this
see
was
that.
happening.
Pronounce
We don't get to
Kansas.
see.
Arkansas is about to
We
beat.
don't get to see that Dustin Timmy anymore running around making post moves
He
and up
looks
and
like an
unders.
out-of-shape porn
He looks
star.
like an out of shape
It's
porn.
like out-of-shape
Yeah, I
porn
told my
star.
wife that. She's like, "Who is that?" And I said, "Looks like a porn star
He
playing
does.
basketball."
He does. He's like,
So he just dropped a cool 36 points.
He's good.
He's good.
He's good, but he
good.
looks like a real poor man's porn star. So, if there's such thing. Okay, so after that amazing description of how Beasley fishes the beds,
That's pretty scientific.
it's pretty scientific.
Yep.
Let's get a little more serious there with Ryan, unless you just do that same way.
You want the bed?
You want the bed? No. I think we've got the
Okay.
picture in our mind
Okay.
now.
I'm a
He'll use the E-propulsion.
okay.
Okay,
Some of you
so
guys E-propulsion.
I'm a visual learner.
there you go.
know,
So anyway,
that's
all right, so
it's
now
done.
how do you attack the bed there, Ryan?
All right, so I pretty much only use like one bait. I don't really get very technical with it. I want something that I can see.
And here it is.
I don't really care
Right.
about green pumpkin black. I don't really get that far detail into it, and I'll get into why I don't care
Okay.
how natural a bait looks. And like, well, she only wants something green or she only wants something black. Nah,
I've seen
Y'all-
that happen.
y'all thinking about too hard. You think about way too hard.
Literally, I've seen that happen.
You thinking about it way too
No,
hard.
guys thinking overthinking it.
No.
or-
I was like,
Oh, you thinking about it
no,
way
I
too
showed
hard.
a fish a white worm and
No, man.
ignored it, and I switched over to green and like.
That's the juice
Well,
right
I'm
there.
gonna teach you something.
No.
All right, here we go, here
You
we
got
go.
that green pumpkin versus that watermelon.
All right,
That's
Well, I'm
where
gonna
it's at.
teach you something.
That's where it's at.
all right, he's teaching. So what you got in your hand right now?
All right, so this is a head right here. This is a head. This is the only head that I use. It's got a big old 5/0 hook in it right here, and it's flat on the bottom, as you can see. That is not available from True Grit Tackle. That is available from True South Custom Lures.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go.
That is a True South Custom Lures Earth Shaker shaky head. I think is what it's called. But anyway, it's a 3/4 ounce, or no, it's 5/8. Sorry, it's 5/8 of an ounce. And anyway, they come in black and green pumpkin, and I take them and I paint them white and then rebake them because I want them white. So as you can see, as Paul's moving the camera, it stands straight up just like so. It stands really straight up, just like so. All right, so it's standing straight up just like this. Okay. So what I do is I take this has pretty much been my number one bait for the past couple of years in terms of bed fishing. It's Biz Baits, white killer crawl. It's 3 3/4 inches long. This is it right here. This is it right here.
Well, I'm waiting for him to rig the damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rig it low. There you go.
So you just take it right here. Typically what I'll do, because of what it is typically I'll
bite a little bit off. You can't see.
I'll bite a little bit of it off. You can see how much I bit off right there.
Oh, yeah, good. There
Dang, Paul.
you stay low. Let Paul's gonna get you while you're right.
So I bite a little bit of it off, and then I come in here, and I just take it just like you would any other screw lock bait, and you just screw it on there just
Better
like
do
so.
this right, you know that.
There you go.
That's right.
Actually, Harmon don't know nothing about fishing.
That's right.
You don't. So anyway, you get it on there just like you would any other thing.
Keep it right there.
Okay. She's ready. When she's in the bed, she stands up. It'll almost stand up on its own without even in the water.
If we had the tank,
It'll almost, but you get the gist. It'll almost stand up. So when it in the water with these claws, it stands up just like so. So it's staying here like this. Okay. And it's in the bed and it's doing this number right here. These have pretty good action. Okay. So the first thing I do is I'm sitting here holding the bait and sitting here assessing the situation of what's going on. So I'm looking at the male and I'm looking at the female. I got to get a gauge of what the mood of each of those is, of those fish. And you can kind of tell, if the female's swimming around a lot, if the she's being real active, if the male's just sitting on the bed and not moving, typically the male's going to bite first if he won't move.
Right.
If both of them are off the bed kind of doing the patrol, you have to throw on the bed to kind of see which one is the aggressor first.
Right.
So you'll throw on the bed, and first of all, you got to find the little spot where the eggs are, the G spot, as Danny called it.
That's right.
So you'll pitch a couple times, and you'll find an area and so whatnot where it really does. Neither one of them really like it. Where they really don't like where your bait is.
Right.
And it only takes a couple of casts, to kind of figure that out. Once you figure that out and you locate where that spot is, that's going to be where your target is the entire time. You're going to constantly throw it and put it in where that is the entire time. So you take it in this and you throw it over there. Look, I got it to stand up.
It did stand up. No,
I actually got it to stand up, Paul.
too late now.
Too late
right.
now.
Paul
It is
back.
standing up. I actually got it to stand up. So that thing's in the bed. So, if, for example, the male runs over there and I will let him grab it. If he wants to eat it, I will let him grab it. And I will let him see what he's going to do with it. If he grabs it and he takes off with it and goes swimming down the bank with it and then blows it out and then turns right back around and goes right back to the bed and the female's still hanging around, you're probably going to have to jerk him off the bed in order to get her to do anything. If he picks up the bait and he swims off with it and doesn't go very far and blows the bait out and the female gets real skittish to where she starts looking around and start doing like that, you're going to have to play your cards right. Or you're not going to be able to catch that fish. Jeremiah made a point earlier about not being able to catch the fish. Sometimes they're not catchable.
Yep.
So you'll figure out what's going on. You'll agitate them by keeping it in the same spot. One thing that I do, and it's no big secret, and I told Danny this when we watched this, and he can testify to this. The same thing that Drew Cook was doing, as a matter of fact, is something that I've been doing for a long time.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it when we were watching.
And that little thing with you holding the rod like this here, and when they come and you sit here and you pat the rod like this, what they're actually doing is when you're sitting in there with this thing, it's just sitting here doing this number. It's just sitting here in the bed and it's just shaking like this.
Yeah.
And it looks
not jerking the rod.
Don't do this number with your rod. Because you'll actually move the bait.
Yeah, you don't want to feel the line connect with the bait.
Yes,
Right.
and what I'll actually do is when I'll throw it on the bed, when I get it in the spot to where I'm actually doing, where it actually needs to be, is I'll actually pull a little bit of line out to where I put a little bit of a slight bow into my line. Because they'll pick this up. They know you're there. They already know you're there.
Right.
I mean, if they didn't know you're there, I mean, they would have been gone long time ago.
Right.
They already know you're there. But you don't really want them to feel it. If you got any kind of tension on your line on the bait, sometimes, they'll grab this and they'll grab like an appendage and they'll only have it like this right here and they'll tote off with it and then bow it out.
Right.
Okay. So leaving a bow in your line, a little bit of slack line in it and stuff really helps. That also helps when you're sitting here doing this with the rod. This barely moves. So it looks like it's digging in the bed. That pisses them off more than anything, especially if it sits there and does this over and over again. The biggest advice really that I can really tell you, and guys, if you care, whatever, it don't matter. Quit taking the bait. Don't take the bait out of the bed a bunch. Because the more you take the bait out of the bed, the more you train that female to realize she says, oh, well, it's just going to keep leaving. So I'm not going to get interested in it because it's just going to swim back off again. It's going to go away. No, you want to leave that thing in there as long as you can. You really do.
Yeah, and that Drew guy left it in there a long
You
time.
got to leave it in there a long time. And fish are dumb, but they have the ability to learn behavior. And if they see a bait keep coming into bed and then leaving again and you throw it back in there again, they're going to get accustomed to it and they're going to be like, it ain't going to stay. So I don't need to waste my time with it and whatnot. It's not real. It keeps going away and then coming back. So I will keep doing that and I will leave it in the bed. If you get one, this is where I was talking about with the white thing. The white thing, I can see it. I can visually see it, and everyone who's ever bed fished or knows anything about bed fishing whatsoever knows that white is, a typical color that you start with. However, I made the comment that I said I don't get very deep at all into changing colors. Because here's why. She goes over here and she gets very interested in this thing, and she just won't eat it. But she gets close to it and she stares at it, she noses down on it, and she just won't get it. All right. Well, she swims off. While she swims off, I reel back in. I grab this thing. I take this bait. I take the hook and I bury it into the middle of the plastic. You can't see the hook. Right. It's buried. And this is some pretty thick plastic that they make these things out of. So I bury it. The hook can't come out. She turns around. As soon as she turns around and I see her turn around, look back at the bed, I throw in the bed. She's kind of like, crap. So then she goes back over there again. I've done got her to nose down on the bait already one time.
Right.
Well, she comes back over to it, and she won't pick it up. You sit there and keep
hitting your rod.
She won't pick it up. She's sitting right here. Her face is right here.
Boink.
And she goes right past it. My next initial thing with this 5-ounce piece of lead is I smack her in the face.
Yep.
So she's between you
Not
and the
hard,
bait.
but
Yeah, enough.
I don't know.
Smack her in the face.
To irritate her.
And she goes, and she takes off. Okay, she takes off. Keep watching. Hell, here she comes again. She comes back. She's pissed. She's real pissed. Throw back in here again without it. Still not exposed to where you can set the hook on.
Make sure you do not snag them.
Don't snag the fish. That's why I expose it, because you can't snag the fish doing this. Come back, see what she does. If she comes back, and this is where a lot of people will get, they'll be, oh, why would you want to do this? If she comes back and she actually grabs this thing and eats it, and then she blows it back out, I've got her.
Yep.
She's mine. Because then I'll reel back in when she swims off. I'll expose the needle point. I'll throw it back in there again. And she's going to be like any other woman. And she's going to come right back over there again, and she's going to grab it, and she's going to suck it up. And when she sucks it up, I cross her eyes.
I got you. Okay.
So that's in a nutshell. I mean, I can go into a longer, drawn-out process of what it is, but that's in a nutshell kind of the way that I bed fish.
Yep.
So what you do is you get her interested.
Mm-hmm.
You get her
You
irritated.
get her interested. I get her irritated. Once you get to the point of irritation, you find out whether or not that fish is catchable or not.
That's right. That was my next question. How do you know when to stop and give up?
Because if she gets irritated and then and she gets irritated enough and she leaves, she won't come back.
Yep.
Well, she wasn't going to be catchable from the first place.
Okay.
Okay. Now there are some instances where if you sit there for 2 hours, you could get it to bite.
Right.
But I'm not playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to bite pretty quick.
What's the longest you'll give it?
The longest I've ever gave one was about 45 minutes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Most of the time, if I can't get one to bite within 15, 20 minutes, I don't play with them no more.
Gotcha.
I move on.
Right.
But smacking the fish, irritating them, hitting them in the face, hitting them in the tail, stuff like that really aggravates them because they know you're there.
Yeah.
Okay. They already know you're there. It's not like you're not playing this stealth game. This isn't tactical espionage action here.
Tactical espionage action.
It's not. That's a Metal Gear Solid quote.
Okay. I have no idea, but there you go.
It's an old video game we used to play.
Sounds like a Thursday night at Michael's house.
It was.
Smacking around and stuff. There you go.
But the gillies and stuff, those baits that just came out, I mean,
I don't like them anymore.
I mean, they may probably work. If you
I don't care about
you can throw them.
if it looks like a
them.
bluegill, honestly. Like, to me, that's never done anything.
Yeah, I've never had an issue with white and doing the technique that I was talking about. I've never really had an issue. I want to see them. I want to see the bait disappear.
Right.
And sometimes with like green pumpkin stuff, you can't tell if she's inhaled it or not.
You're right.
And a lot of times with green pumpkin, especially in a little bit dirtier water situation like green pumpkin or black, the only way you can know sometimes if she's actually inhaled the bait is if her gill's totally like open.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now they will open and they may not have the entire bait.
Yep.
And then you'll set the hook and it's, oh God, what happened? Or you'll snag, get it, and it'll be out on the outside of her mouth.
Right.
Or something like that. With white, when it disappears, it disappears. She's got it in her mouth.
That's a good point. Now and anybody that's watched this show knows long enough that I like to throw a green pumpkin Ned.
Yeah.
And regardless, and I throw it on finesse, it's very finesse, and you got to be ready to play them and all that. But I have to judge the way the fish bites a little bit different because, like you said, you can't see the white disappear. Yeah. I always let the fish, the way it turns real quick, or the way the fish reacts for me setting the hook. I have to kind of. There is a guessing game with it a little bit like that. So
I do not have power poles. How am I keeping the boat there so long? Lots of practice with the trolling motor.
It kind of does suck.
Lots of practice with the trolling motor.
If you have a dock or an overhanging tree,
distance. If you don't have poles, is very, very important.
Yes,
keeping your distance, pretty good distance
you think that's
away.
a mistake a lot of people make? They get too close.
Well, a lot of guys get like right on top of the damn thing.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen guys like right bad fish like right here, it won't bite. I'm like, well, the trolling motor's in its face. Yeah. I mean, so I mean, it's like, I mean, what do you expect?
I see a lot of guys doing that.
I don't know if he's watching or not. If he is, he's taught me a bunch about bad fishing. But Mr. Harold Grizzle, he will start as far away as he can,
full cast,
because he don't have poles either. But there's not a better bed fisherman than Harold.
Right.
There ain't hardly a fish that he can't catch.
And that's where white would come in a little more.
And that's where white does come in there into play.
Yeah.
But he'll use some other baits too. But he likes to change things up. That's just his nature, and that's how he likes to be. Just to put it into perspective though, and this is no lie. I mean, I'm not telling a lie. I mean, I'm being dead serious. I let my partner throw in a bed 2 years ago, and he didn't have a good knot. He set the hooks, broke her off. I said, "Damn, really?" And he said, "What? You know?" I said, "Now my head, man." I said, "I'm gonna get my head back." So I grabbed my bait. This thing is still in its mouth. I catch her. She's like a 3.5 pounder. I catch her. I get my bait back, and I get my other bait back that he brought that he lost.
So you're saying that there is always a chance of popping it again. If you don't. Probably because he didn't fight her, you reckon? Because it was on the hook set?
I guess. I don't know. I know when he set the hook, he turned her head, and she didn't leave. But she swam, and when she was swimming, she was opening her mouth like she was like walking around like this. And you could see the thing in her mouth. I was like, "Oh my God, my jig head's in there." I was like, "I'm getting my jig head back." And he's like, "You won't do it." And I was like, "Watch me."
So she was just ready. She was ready.
She was ready.
She was ready.
Third cast in front of her face, she swallowed it.
How long does a female stay on the bed before she leaves and lets a male go and guard it?
Typically about 20, somewhere in between. It can be a little longer. Typically, the ratio typically is somewhere between 24 and 30 or about 36 hours, sometimes 48 hours.
For her to stay on.
For her to stay. For her to stay.
Unless you're in Florida.
It's
about 25 minutes.
Unless you're in Florida, that's about 25 minutes.
Right.
Like if you go find a fish on the bed on Thursday and she's sitting there, they ain't rolling, they're not hitting it. The male's not hitting.
They're not
her.
doing that dance.
They're not doing their dance.
Right.
You're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go back and come catch her on Saturday."
Nope.
I doubt it. She's gonna be long gone.
Learn that on Seminole.
They don't play around. They do their job. They do their thing, and then they get gone. And then there's about a week to 2 week long process afterwards where she recuperates.
Right.
And she recuperates. Some of them spawn, and after they spawn, they can't recuperate, and they die.
Had some rough stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? So buck bass goes up, makes a bed, does his dance to attract a female. They do the dirty.
I don't know about the dance.
Well, you know what I'm saying. They do whatever.
Females come to a bed. They may pull in a pocket, and there may be like 6 or 7 beds.
She's going to choose the one,
and she's going to choose the one that she prefers.
Okay, so then she chooses.
Mm-hmm.
They do their dance.
Mm-hmm.
She stays on the bed for about 24, 36 hours.
Yeah,
typically.
Mm-hmm.
What is the buck doing in that time? Is he still hanging around?
He still hangs around. Yeah, the buck don't leave,
but he's not on the bed with her. They've done their dance. He just kind of hangs off to the side a little bit.
I've actually physically seen one laying on the bed. She's actually laying eggs. Once she's done, she kind of eases off and goes over here and finds her a little twig or something to just kind of sit on. And then the male goes over there and he does his little thing, fertilizes the eggs.
Right.
And then she hangs around, she recuperates. And the male guards the bed.
And he stays and guards.
And he stays and guards the bed all up until the fry hatch. Fry typically hatch somewhere in about 10 to 14 days after fertilization, depending upon water temperature.
Right.
At 70 to 72, it's a little bit more of an accelerated process because the water temperature is a little bit as higher, as warmer.
Right.
And after the eggs hatch, then he stays around the fry, watches the fry.
And everybody has seen that.
And everybody's seen a little ball of fry, and they'll throw around that little ball of fry, and out of damn nowhere will be a damn little male that's big coming over there and grabbing whatever it is or attacking whatever it is you throw over there.
Right.
And he guards the fry. He guards the fry after the fry. He guards the fry for about another week or so, week to 2 weeks roughly. And then he go.
And then
they're on their own.
That's right.
The fry are on their own.
Unless, as you said earlier.
Unless the male gets really, 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 really hungry, and then he'll just go over there and he'll slurp them down.
Okay, Michael, that is a question that I have never in my life heard. I know we do it for deer hunting. Can I make a mock bed like a skunk?
No, because males, when they preparation of the bed, you ever caught a male buck bass that's pissing?
That's what
he's spraying in the bed, getting a scent. That's how female comes and finds the bed.
So he's laying down his
he's laying down his pheromone,
his pheromones and all that. He's pheromone in the bed.
Yes.
Nature gives her a scene like, I like the smell. I like the bed. Let's do the dirty and all that. But that is an interesting question. I mean, I've never ever even thought about that because, like I said, if you deer hunt, you can make mock scrapes, but you attract the deer to it using scents and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting question. I mean, it's a good question. I didn't know the answer to that, but
I mean, the spots and largemouth and smallmouth, they all. I mean, you probably all of us probably watching. Maybe I guess I don't know. You caught one and you pick it up after you catch it, and you're sitting there holding it, and like, God, he's pissing all over us. Yeah. Well, no, he's pissing. He's actually pissing. It's water.
Yeah.
It's pee.
What is the fish that throws that white crap all over you?
He's taking a ton. He's taking.
Stripers do that. Yeah, some of them. Yeah.
And what the white crap that comes out of any bass or striper is dump.
It's dump.
Yeah,
Well,
they have shit. Yes. That's exactly what they've
It's been
done.
the first time in my life, but there you go. All right, so this where we're at right now, it's starting. We're in mid-March, a little towards the end of March, getting towards the end, so 24th, so get a little late. So right now it's starting. When will it be in full swing? And there's phases of
There's different phases of it. There's typically there's really three main waves on most all the lakes. There's typically about three main waves. You've got your very early wave, which is probably some that have already spawned or are spawning at this very moment as we sit here and talk. We're going to have that next phase. They have the next phase here. That's going to be in April.
That's probably the major one.
That's one of the first major ones with a lot of them. The latest I've ever seen a bass on the bed, two of them on the bed, is middle of June.
Right.
There's middle of June. I have seen some, and the water temperature was like 82. It's really all kind of preference depending upon the bass.
And on the lake like Lanier, they'll spawn upper lake first, and the spawn kind of flows down.
On all lakes, it will. Now there'll be some that spawn down the lake here early, but typically the majority of the wave starts on all your lakes on the upper end and works its way down.
So where the rivers come in, and then it just works its way down.
Yeah, because the rivers typically have your warmest water in spring.
All right, so water temperature does play a pretty major role. I know we talked about the moon and all that, but it's a combination of all of it.
I'm of the opinion, and this is only because of what I've seen. Yes, the moon phase does, affect it.
Maybe it's the Kickstarter, but
it's the it's like the kickstart my heart, type of deal. Yeah. Exactly. Motley Crue reference. It's kind of the way it is, but I have seen like 2 weeks post full moon, two of making love. Yeah. See, I mean, they're not even. I mean, you're 2 weeks. You're 2 weeks. You're like a week and a half to 2 weeks removed, and it ain't even been a new moon yet.
Has anyone caught any bedfish now in Lanier? Is it still early?
No.
There actually have been people that have reported that they are seeing some bedding activity.
Right.
On Lanier and on some of these other lakes.
Right. It is not entirely impossible by all.
Not the major wave.
And not the major wave.
Personally, with those spots I was talking about, I haven't found big ones spawning yet.
I ain't found no big ones spawning yet. A lot of them I've been
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's possible.
A lot of them, I think, bucks have made beds.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And I know in the backs of a lot of these pockets and stuff, a lot of the bucks, the largemouth bucks, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, they ain't even made a bed yet.
Yep.
But they're back there where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
But they ain't made a bed yet.
Are they feeding heavy though? Are they still gorging a little bit?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
they're
that's
still gorging.
Then you got those big females incubating the eggs under the docks. Yeah. That's
it takes about 8
pounder up under that dock.
Yeah, it's probably given the no comment. Well, given the circle of death we see, so our internet might be kind of going in and out. Probably everybody's watching the basketball game too.
No, that's Kevin. Just
well, look, it's that time of year, and again, it doesn't matter which side that you fall on. It's still an interesting thing. I think if you actually don't listen to what people tell you about just their opinions and stuff. Go find out for yourself. I mean, the internet's full of, and you have to wade through a lot of crap. I'll be honest, but you can find some legitimate studies on whether you want to make the ethical or whatever decisions, but at least you can base it on some facts. And pretty much what I found today is, and again, southern lakes, the bass, they lay enough eggs to compensate for natural causes, loss angling, and it's just nature's way of throwing it out there. But at least go look for yourself and make your opinion.
Jack'em juice.
And what?
Jack'em juice.
Jackal juice. Oh, Jack'em juice. All right, and lost internet. So yeah, video heading south. So that's it. I kind of figured that. So we're gonna wrap it up. But if you could still hear me, hey guys, it's coming up. Ryan dropped you and Beazle dropped you some good juice with his 13-inch anaconda one.
I did stop myself before. I didn't talk about how I actually bed fish. Was probably a good thing.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah.
You want to keep that into yourself?
Well, I mean, okay, but a drop shot has a lot to do with it.
I do know of guys drop shotting on a bed. I've
Yeah.
seen that. It just hovers right above them.
Legitimate
A
bait.
lot to do with
It is a
It's a
legitimate bait.
bait.
It is. It does the same thing, just hovers above. I mean, you could still do that.
Well, it's like how he touched him in the face. Drop shot, you can literally sit that thing there, and their head's right here, and the tail's just. Ooh.
It just drives them insane.
Yeah, they
So,
get mad. This Seminole bass did not appreciate that very much, and I went down some stretches in
Okay.
practice behind people, and
let me tell Michael Temples again this. So, all right. So real quick before we go, the deal with the Mega Live is we're raising money for the Virtue Recovery House in Cartersville, Georgia. It is a good program that helps people recover from addiction, drugs, and alcohol and stuff like that. We're trying to raise some money for them. So we're doing a raffle. The drawing will be Easter Sunday at 8 p.m. I'm going to come up here and do the drawing on the Facebook group page. And you can buy a ticket at the store, or you can get in touch with me. It's $20 for one. You get 3 for $50. You get 7 for $100. All proceeds, 100% goes to the Virtue Recovery House. We're going to give away this Mega Live and try to help raise some money. The goal is to raise $5,000 and, to put our money through a good cause. And you got a chance to win a hell of a product right here. They're real hard to get. So $20, 2 meals at McDonald's. So, I mean, it's a pretty good chance. We're really going to start pushing it, coming into April really hard like that. But again, guys, listen, we appreciate you watching. Sorry about the internet. It is what it is. Fiber's coming. And again, if you go out fishing this weekend, be careful on Saturday. There's going to be a lot of wind in the North Georgia area. But go out there and have some, a good time. Give us some reports so we can share them. Tuesday night, huh?
he said something about Alka-Seltzer.
Alka-Seltzer, yeah. What's y'all's email? I'm trying to start the North Georgia Tech College team, and if we'd like to talk to you about it, Danny, DANNY, at fishnorthga.com. Or you can hit me on Messenger on Facebook at Danny Pruitt, like that. So there you go. Paul put it down there in the comments section. I will give you, okay. Yeah, I'll bring you 7, and I'll do that. Yeah, Ryan is done.
Mm-hmm.
But again, guys, hey, listen. We'll see you, Ryan. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, especially if you're watching this at a later date.
Do people actually do the Alka-Seltzer thing?
Old school guys do the Alka-Seltzer
Really?
thing, especially in the tube.
I think that would make
Step
a. You think that'd be?
You put it in a tube, it bubbles.
You think that'd be hard to catch them?
Well, it's another way to irritate them.
I guess I
It's
don't.
just
like,
something-
I just like to sit in front of their face. They get mad.
Ryan is gone.
They
But
get
anyway, you
mad.
guys listen. We'll see you next Thursday night on the Livewell, Tuesday night on the Fish North Georgia Reports. You guys get out there and fish, have a good time, give us a little report so we can share it. We always appreciate you guys, and we look forward to seeing you again. So go catch some